Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining. This is a wonderful time, my first live. So you're going to see raw Kroger run. This is actually me sitting in my home office, not pushing a cart like you usually see. And this is something that is a challenge from our OUR Kentucky Homes YouTube channel. They just did one of these and we're pushing through to answer 40 questions just like they did. It's a chance to get to know the person, behind the camera more. And I feel like I'm pretty open on my videos, but these are things with specific pointed questions to get to know you better. Let me see. I had to click on got it right now. Don't know what in the world that means. Let me look over here. We're going to jump right into it. 40 questions. It's going to be a lightning round. So this is super fun. I'll go yes, no, or give you the full answer. Let me know if this is interesting to you. When I get through to the end of the questions, if you're live, put a chat in there and I'll answer your questions as well, if they are appropriate, if you know what I mean. So let's jump right in with the first one. Do you have any pets? That is question number one. And if I were to clap my hands right now, a little dog that's maybe 12 pounds that's laying on his little bed down by my feet would jump up and want to be on the camera. So I'm not going to do that, but I hope that expresses the love that I have for the little thing and how attached we are to him. I may do that by the end of the day, okay? Just to let you see our little thing. Now, downstairs, we have two cats that we did not creatively name. We have an incredibly long haired cat, and we named it Fluffy. Then we have a calico cat, and we named it Calico. They are getting up in age. They're about 14 or so, and we love them all. Actually, as a matter of fact, while I'm recording this, a timer is going to go off that says feed the cats, feed the cats. So you may hear that in the background. All right. That is question number one. Number two is, are you in a relationship? And life is about relationships. So yes, but specifically, I am married to my wife, and she has a different standard for privacy than I do. So you already know my name. I may very well never say her name on here, but she is the wife and she is loved. All right. Question number three. We're getting into some pretty deep questions here at number three. That is, do you believe in God? And the answer is yes. And there are college courses on that. And I don't want to really go into that level of detail with it, but I believe that some people's definition of God is different than mine. And I think that I'm right. Boom, there you go. I would love to have a more personal conversation with you about that if you want. So feel free to engage with me, put a comment there, and I'll respond back uh, to you personally. Let's keep going. Whew, light stuff again. Would you choose a car or a truck? In general, I would choose a car because of gas efficiency and a little bit more appointments inside. The cab of not the cab, the inside a car. If I could rent a truck whenever I needed one. Uh, I go to Home Depot frequently, and we may be able to talk about this later, but um, I rent box trucks, and I think that's a good medium. If I only had to choose one and be that forever, it probably would be a truck, but I would definitely want it to have lots of appointments on the inside, particularly heated seats and a sunroof. I'm getting rather attached to sunroofs now. Heating and air conditioning, all the usual things. Do you hunt or fish? And I do fish. There is something magical about having, casting out a line into this great unknown that's underwater and finding uh, where, a fish is to bring them in. I usually do catch and release, which is, you just catch them. My research says that it's not actually hurting them. I don't know how that's true, but it's supposed to not hurt them, and then I release them back. They're happy, and they'll get a little piece of worm. So I love to fish. Do you drink alcohol? The quick answer is no. During that time where we were quarantined inside our home, I would cook dinner for the family and have 2 Guinnesses a night as I cooked. And that was something, special. That was a special time. Next, what is your favorite food? I have said this on previous videos that I could eat pizza all the time, every day. Breakfast pizza, lunch pizza, dinner pizza, because it's just so versatile. You can make them, any kind of different ways. That's my favorite food. Hot dogs or hamburgers? And I am a hamburger person because I know how to make a good hamburger and I know how hot dogs are made. So, uh, hamburgers taste best on sliced white bread. Prove me wrong. What is your morning drink? I like coffee. And studies show that 2 to 3 cups of coffee in the morning, full caffeinated coffee, has health benefits. So that's good to know. Can you do 100 push ups? Over the span of my lifetime, I have probably done 100 push ups. That's as far as I'll go. I don't know how long it would take me to do one of those sets of 100, but I'm sure I would be in personal pain. Those are the push-ups. What's your favorite season? And my favorite season is the fall. I like it that it is a variety of temperatures, going from cool in the evening, to warm. Also love the change of the leaves. And my birthday is during the fall. So really, that's just an excuse to say that my birthday season is my favorite time of the year. Next, what is your favorite hobby? I love hobbies in general, and I have gone through several. Right now, what I would say my favorite hobby is actually how I am making an income. It's with podcasting over here. And if you have any podcasting questions, let me know because I can hook you up with correct answers for that. I enjoy doing it, and I do it sometimes, to help people out, and also do it for my own, for my own enjoyment. But that is and has been for a long time, a hobby. I have done like storage unit auctions in the past. I've done comic book collecting, and I've loved all of that. Have I done any kind of sports things? Fishing? Fishing is a hobby. I've got a inflatable boat down in my garage. And I love watching TV, and I love movies, and I love to get into someone else's imagination and see what they bring forth. I love that. And I probably do that more than anything else because I love to feel what other people are expressing. There you go. Are you a skilled craftsman? Other than podcasting, no. Next, what is your heritage? We have in our heritage is the ruins of a castle that's over in Wales. So we know that everyone with our name comes from that specific area of Wales. We know people from Wales, when they did immigration, left most likely from Manchester and came over to Pennsylvania back in the 1700s. And then we know there's a great or maybe not grandfather that is from the state of Pennsylvania and came to central Kentucky and then had sons and had sons and had sons, and here we are today. So that is the heritage. It's Welsh in identity. All right. Wales is part of the United Kingdom, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Do you wear glasses? quick answer is duh, I do. One of my lifelong friends, Dice Fumbler, is there. Good to see you. Thanks so much. I'm going through answering questions, and I am on question. Oh, geez, let me go back. 15 of 40. This is one of those things of getting to know you better, and I've been presenting myself better for 10 minutes now. Thanks so much for joining. All right, here we go. I'll wear glasses. Yes. Do you have any phobias or fears? I am afraid of spiders. When I was a kid, I had dreams of there are these things called garden spiders, yellow with legs, and they make a very strong webbing that has like a zigzag in the middle as it gets towards the fall. And we always had those around our house as I was growing up, in our tiger lilies and irises. Are those the flowers that are outside? Anyway, what's the orchids? They are not orchids, so they are irises. And I would see them, it scared me to death. And I would frequently have dreams of those spiders being like the size of a Volkswagen bus and being in the field across our house. That's really, the level of fear of spiders. As I've grown up, I've really not gotten over those. I fight it so that I can get spiders outside of the house, that kind of thing. But I'm still afraid. I, however, am deathly afraid of tornadoes. That's something that I don't think I'll ever get over. When I was like 4 or 5, there was an incredible breakout of tornadoes throughout the Midwest. And the house that I just mentioned, the spider house, was on one ridge, one top of the hill. And there was a tornado that hit the other top of the hill. And I grew up with like seeing these trees that were uprooted and laid down, and hearing the stories of how my aunt, who happened to be over that evening, and my mom held the door open so that there's a myth that you need to open those and open the doors or your house will explode. Have you ever heard that? And I know that from 4, when they would hold the door open because the winds were something. So that's I'm definitely afraid of spiders and tornadoes. I think that's pretty common. Do you have a nickname? No. What is your favorite candy? Now, I've got a few. 1, peanut M&Ms, particularly the yellow ones. 2, cowtails. Have you heard of those? They're caramel with condensed powdered sugar in the middle. I enjoy those every so often. And then I also like the large, chewy sweet tarts. I think those are pretty awesome. Do you believe in ghosts? Here is something controversial. I do not. And I've come to that after a lifetime of searching to see if there's such a thing. I think the experience of ghosts for me is how the brain looks for patterns in the world, and they're seeing things that are unknown or weird, and they're putting it into a pattern of there's something else doing that, and it's a ghost. So the question to that is, do I believe in ghosts? No. Don't get me wrong. I'm afraid of what's in the dark, but not ghost. Rain or snow. I love, I don't like being cold, so I guess it's rain, but I love when you're trapped inside your house and it's snowing outside. That leads to another question that I know is coming up. Do you have any piercings? No. I did in college have a piercing, and this year, and I've still got the residual hole, or the stump, or whatever that is when a hole grows in. So I'm cool like that. What is your age? I am 53. I was born in 1970, and I love being born on a like 0 on the start of a decade. It helps me to always remember what my birthday is. There you go. 23. We are well over halfway done. French fries or onion rings? And my answer is onion rings. I don't eat them much, nothing fried anymore. But let me tell you the best way to eat an onion ring. Okay. So you order your order and it comes to you. Find the one that's the shaped most like a bowl or has the thickest sides. All right. Take your ketchup and then fill that little onion ring bowl up with the ketchup and then put salt on everything. And that's what you dip in. Okay. It makes a great, you know, contained space for your ketchup. And then at the end, when you grab a fork and you eat that last ketchup lathered onion ring, it's incredible. Uh, Try that if you never have before, and you can thank me later. All right. Do you have children? And yes, I have a biological daughter, and we raised a niece and nephew that I count as my children. Can you sing? And the answer to that is no. You would like me to sing tenor, 10 or 20 miles away. You would like me to sing solo, solo that you can't hear me. Huh, there you go. What is your favorite color? And the color is red. And it's been all my life. There's no reason for that. I can say now that it is one of the colors from University of Louisville, where I do some work now. So red is the answer. Can you whistle? Where were you born? King Daughters Hospital, the original one in Frankfort, Kentucky. Do you have siblings? Yes. I have a brother who's 18 years older than me, and I had a brother that was 16 years older than me. Unfortunately, he passed away about 5 years ago, and very sad time for our family. Can you cook? Yes, I do. And I like following a recipe as a guide, but there are staples that I can cook from memory. And a lot of it goes back to like home cooking from way back. And everybody in my family said that my mom could really, really cook really well. And I'm so glad that I have just some of those recipes in my head from watching her cook. Can you swim? Yes, but not well. Shower or bath? I am team shower. I had a cousin. You could tell I'm from Kentucky because I talk about a cousin as a point of reference. Well, I have a cousin who talked about that you should never bath because as you clean yourself sitting in the bathtub, oils and all the dirt goes across the surface of the water. And then when you get out of the tub, that the surface and all the stuff on it kind of like clings to your body as you raise up. And you know that's true because there's all of these YouTube videos of how they put paint on the top of water and they dip, like I've seen motorcycle helmets and parts of cars, and that kind of paint attaches. So that is true. So my cousin was correct. City or nature? This was the reference before. I like nature, but I don't like being in it. And so I would choose city. And further, I don't need to go outside like at all. So city, but I don't need, I don't need much of anything outside of my house. Uh, that will lead to one of the questions future, because my wife loves the outdoors, and that is one of the things that we have words about needing to be out or be in. Okay. Have you ever had stitches? Yes is the quick answer. On that spider house, in that spider house that I mentioned before, we got a riding lawnmower, and in the riding on when we got the riding lawnmower, my mom mowed the lawn because she was the one that found it, all that kind of stuff, and got the lawnmower. Well, I was following behind it, loving, that, oh, this is so cool. We have a riding lawnmower. We had arrived. We were rich, or I guess we were semi-rich. And I was following the lawnmower, and we had dogs. It was on a farm, and the lawnmower picked up a bone that a horse had left, a dog had left in the yard, and it came up and hit me in my chin right there. And it was painful at the time. Of course, I still remember it. and I had stitches right there for the longest time because it was a pretty big hole. Imagine a a bone, coming up to hit you. So that was startling. The funny part of that though is mom was on the lawnmower. She couldn't hear anything or those kinds of things. So I had to like gushing uh run around and get in front of the lawnmower, and pointing at her. So she stopped mowing. But that was funny. Uh have I read such any broken bones? And the answer is no. How many TVs do you have? Remember before when I said I bought storage units sometime? Most every storage unit has some size of TV in it. So we probably have 7. We have like 4 functional that are like in the house. We have a few other ones that are just down in the garage. Need a TV? Let me know. Unrelated to that, let me tell you the best TV. It's called a Roku TV. How did we get on TV? How many TVs have you on? Roku TV are the best thing. It's a smart TV and an actual interface that's built into the TV. Here's the real nexus of it is not the best TV on the market. There are lots better pictures, better of those, but it's not bad. The interface with the size and quality of the TV is really, really what it is. You could spend much more money and get an incredible TV and then a Roku stick and have, the best of both worlds. But I don't want to spend that much money on entertainment as a principle. All right, here we go. How many? This is the question from before. Do I dance? That is a great wording of a question. To the question, do I dance? The answer is no. Uh, the wife loves to dance, and that is one of the places that she would want to go out all the time. Any kind of lessons, any kind of dancing activities, she loves it. And I do not. So we have words about that. All right, I'm going to wrap that into the going outside because you have to go out to dance. Question 38, we are almost done. Camping or hotel? And I am a hotel person, particularly a hotel that offers a free breakfast. I know those aren't always the best breakfasts, but free is good. All right. How long have you been gardening? That's funny that the assumption is that I've been gardening. But I told you that I grew up on a farm. And I don't know a time when in the spring I haven't thought about, in any of the houses or any of the apartments, like getting a tomato plant or, some other little thing to grow in herbs to grow in the windowsill, that's kind of thing. So I have gardened, all my life. I've got 2 watermelon plants and 2 cucumber plants growing out back and 3 tomato plants. One of I paid extra for it's a heirloom tomato so that I can collect the seeds and they'll grow into more tomatoes. So if you're in the Kentucky area, in a little town called Berea, there's someone, his name is Bill Best, and he has all kinds of heirloom tomato seeds and bean seeds. And he probably has the largest private collection of seeds. And you wouldn't think that that's interesting, but he can tell you the story about the origin of these different lines of beans and these kinds of tomatoes. It is pretty interesting. And there's 2 favorite kind of tomatoes. First is the pear-shaped yellow ones. When it's hot in the summer and you take the little pear tomatoes and eat them and they're warm from the heat of summer, that's something special. And then you get a large tomato and you have tuna fish, tuna salad. That's my rural upbringing there. Tuna and fish, they're both tuna salad, and you take the tuna salad and put it slice into the sliced tomato, the quarter tomato. Chef's kiss. That's easy and good. All right. Do the last question, 40. Do I think I am weird? And from feedback I receive from others, yes. Weird being unusual, not what is expected. Um, I think I do have a diversity of thought and action outside of typical people in situations. I call it fun, but if I had to categorize it as weird, I would. Okay. We have some, again, the person that's in the chat. Do you any stories you think I could share on here or should share just for fun? I'd like to talk for an additional 4 more minutes. I'm a little bit tapped. So let me know if there's anything, type that in. I will see if there's any other questions connected to this set of questions. So again, our Kentucky home is who I got this from. Thank you so much. Other people that I watch on YouTube, that are super fun. Joe Scott, he's like a sciencey kind of guy. I watch him. He releases every Monday. What is it? Mr. Ballin. Okay. Oh, how did you get involved in podcasting? Thank you so much. Fan of the show. There is an interesting story there, and I can talk to you, about this equipment I have. I worked from home remotely when it wasn't cool. This was going back to like early 2000s. All right. And I had my BlackBerry phone, that I handled, technical support calls from. And there was a show that came on, I think it was 2004, called Lost. And I would watch it for an hour, love it. And then I searched online and there were podcasts about the show Lost. And really, that was when podcasting had just started as a thing. So I would watch Lost for an hour and then through podcasts get 4 hours, 5 hours more of enjoyment, of people talking about that show. And I was listening to so many podcasts and all that. I became interested in podcasting and started podcasting in 2005. And this is 2023. I've been podcasting ever since. I've had lots of shows that have pod faded, that just, they've died. Some of them that were fun connected to TV shows that have died. One was a show called Journeyman. You can't even find it much anymore. And I was the number one fan podcast about that show. I mean, I interviewed like the director of the show and everything, but it lasted one season during the last writer's strike, by the way. So that was fun. The one that my wife makes the most fun of me, of the podcast that I've had, was the Crossword Puzzle Enthusiasts podcast. And there's such a fan base for that I really think a crossword puzzle enthusiast podcast would go, but not the way that I did it. I simply found the 100 most common crossword words, and I would read them aloud saying, hello, thank you for this episode. Now we're going to talk about 5-letter words. Happy, HAPPY. And that was a podcast episode. It did not survive. A podcast. I had a wonderful podcast called Completely Comics, and we would record. This was again in early podcasting. Like there were like 4 comic book podcasts, and we were one of them, and had people, authors, and comic creators that we talked to. It was really cool. And there was a lipstick microphone, which was just a stick that you would buy a computer, and it wasn't built in, but you had to plug the microphone in. We recorded on, with that, and a milk jug that I had put felt around on the inside to isolate the sound, and it was great. It was fun. We went to conferences. It was a very good time. A podcast I'm doing now is called Podcasting Tips from the Front Porch. So you can Google that and hear me talk about podcasting tips. My most latest episode, I talk about Kroger Run. All right. Oh, going back to Lost. The best YouTube channel about Lost is called Lost Explained. And my wife asked me about the show Lost recently. And because I'd watched all of the videos on Lost Explained, I told her like the whole arc of the whole series. And she said she wasn't bored, but I was able to synthesize the whole series, six seasons, because of that YouTube channel. So check out Lost Explained. And all that goes, from podcasting. So, all right, I survived 30 minutes and only received 2 emails during that time. So that's awesome. Dice Fumbler, thank you so much for joining me live. Hadn't heard from you in a few days, and if that continued, I was going to send you some comments or find out if you were doing okay. I have answered 40 questions. Woo! Over 30 minutes. Post in the comments here if you have any other questions. I'll follow up if you're listening to this after the fact, watching this after the fact. And other than that, see you on the next Kroger Run.